It's going live. Monday morning.
The real question is did you already hit the button?
I hit the button.
But why do we have this button? If you're going to hit the button over there, why do we have the button over here?
Well, the issue is I'm trying to figure out because we are multi-streaming to everything.
And the button doesn't work for everything?
For all those things now.
I feel like he's lying to me right now.
I'm not lying to you. Why is this not loosening up so it's higher?
You always have this problem with that mic.
I do. It's always like just wants to be so hard to move. Oh no. Is that it? It's gonna sit right there. Oh, look at that.
I think he's got it figured out.
Aha! Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Game Changers podcast, brought to you by all of us here at Damascus Gaming. We are, as always, out of our land center here at the Shops of Solana, second floor. By the way, if you're in El Paso, Texas, come on, swing by, check us out. We do everything, man, from esports to TCG. We do productions now, online leagues, in-person leagues, all kinds of craziness, dude.
I'm wrapped up on my cord here. Hey, Scott's asking us a question.
Scott's asking a question. What's he asking?
He wants to know where the podcast is at.
Located at twitch.tv/Damascus Esports. What's going on, everybody? Feisty and Nick, welcome in. Hope y'all are doing well. Man, it's been crazy. Why is this part off too? I feel like now it's flawless.
Yeah, there we go. I sent him.
How we doing, brother?
I didn't send him the link, but I told him like what our actual address is. So
you gotta go check it out, man.
Yeah.
All right, but anyway, dude, this was a good week last week, man. We had a bunch of really good stuff happen. We had the online Borderlands League once again.
Week two.
A little bit of a switch up though. T250K took that victory.
Yep.
They turned it up.
It was a good game.
It was nuts.
I wish we could flop some of the clips here.
We'll have to do that here in the future for sure.
But one of these days, we'll have to get that fixed up. But the games that they were in were really, really good. It was a best of 5. It didn't actually go to that second round. I do hear a slight echo. Was there volume on the other side?
No, it shouldn't be, but I do hear it too.
Okay. Well, hopefully the viewers out there can't hear it. It doesn't bother me any, but I slightly can hear it on occasion.
Let me go take a peek.
Okay.
Give me a second, y'all. Craig, talk to the people.
Well, while he's doing that, I'll talk a little bit about this game. It was a best of 5, so there was a lot of back and forth in the game between T250K and Trauma.org, and so we went into the historic game 4, I believe it was. Actually, it didn't go to the game 5. It ended on game 4.
It did indeed. I know game 4. Oh, man, dude. I hope everyone, by the way, is having a fantastic start to their week. It is Monday. Yeah, it's 4 matches, dude.
Was it really?
Yeah, I thought it did.
It was hard point, and then no spoilers. So you got
Search and Destroy.
Control, hard point, and then
it
went back to the 5th one. Yes, it did.
Yeah, it did. So
I was going to say, no. It was 5 games. Yeah, it was 5 games. It was we will tell you that the series went to the full best of 5. But it was an intense game. Yeah,
it was an intense matchup. By the way, the VOD is live. If you're on twitch.tv or on YouTube, you guys should go back and watch it. It's kind of crazy. It's 6 hours of content. It was a long day. Yeah, but it was awesome.
It was 6 hours long, but you can obviously jump through and jump to different games and stuff. There are some 10-minute breaks in there. We do our short breaks in between rounds for not only us but for the players getting ready. For being able to actually jump into the games, because not every game is exactly on time. Like, we do have to let some games take a little bit longer. So then we have to wait for those games to be done. And then once they're done, we can move into the next round. So it does, we do have some time frames where there's some short 10-minute breaks. But for the most part, for what it is, if you cut the breaks out, the stream is easily 4.5 hours.
Oh yeah, very, very easily. Very easily. And by the way, we turn this around not because we are sponsored by Dr. Pepper, but I'm hoping one day that we get the phone call and they're like, "Hey guys,
well, I know where we can go. I know where we can go to do it. I've actually
that's my thing. Like, Pepper in the past. I do not need money from them. I don't need anything. I need them to run a direct line straight into my house so I can shower and Dr. Pepper every morning. That's what I need.
I mean,
need
that
to
would be
start
cool.
my day. It'd be awesome, dude.
No, Dr. Pepper did not pay us.
Not yet.
It would be
Not
cool.
yet. It's coming. It's
It'd
coming.
be cool.
One day. Texas water.
We did do some stuff with a potential current partner. We're not giving out any specifics on that at
but
the
that's
moment.
also coming.
The reason why I mentioned
on
it
Saturday,
I was
though,
gonna say,
you would have received some sustenance from these people.
Yeah, you would have seen it if you were here on Saturday during the Smash Bros event, which was actually very large too.
It was pretty good. By the way, the next one's going to be even bigger. So this is what I am super excited about. So this upcoming Saturday, by the way, we are working with a few different TOs here in El Paso. We're going to be doing the Arcadian Smash Bros event, which is going to be taking place actually downstairs, center stage at the Shops of Solana. We have a 14-foot LED screen that's going to be going up over there.
Yep.
It's going to be live streamed. Same day, we've also got a Call of Duty Black Ops 6 tournament. There's going to be a lot of content flying out of this place.
Yep.
It's going to be kind of ridiculous. So,
well, you mentioned the outside of the shops. By the way, that's the viewing area. So
it is.
We're still going to be doing the playing up here. We're working.
There
on
will
some
be
things.
The winners and finals will be played on there though. But
that's going to be played down there.
Yes, it will.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can watch them all play live and freak out and scream and make them all freak. So if you have not, by the way, seen or heard about the Arcadian event, the way that works is you cannot be a professional player. You also cannot have won anything. 14 feet. But with that being said, it's all amateur players. So, in fact, if you win an Arcadian event, you're never allowed to compete in one again. So it's all the amateur players showing up. I'm expecting a pretty good show out. We're going to start after that pretty hardcore. I also need to talk to Scott about possibly seeing if we can actually tap into the audio in the mall so we can have the casting and game audio being blasted through the entire mall.
Now,
so people go, what's going on?
Now, and
they come walking over.
If we're going to do casting for this one, I don't know if
I'm not casting this one.
I don't know if I could do this one at the seat of my pants.
We're not casting this one. We already have a caster ready to go for that day. Thank God.
Are you sure? Because this is what I was told last time too.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, our other caster is a part of the United States Army, and his schedule is all over the place. So
That's
I
fair.
get it.
It is.
Yeah,
fair.
dude. I am kind of curious because the past 2 weeks, week and a half-ish.
Week and a half.
The MTG Final Fantasy set dropped.
Yes.
The official release was actually this past Friday, but the pre-release was the Friday before.
Correct.
And I'm kind of curious.
You'd think that that wasn't the case, but continue.
Yes. I am curious though. How do you feel about that set? I was going to want to talk a bit about this because Final Fantasy just exploded. So many boxes sold.
This is like a two-folded question. Like,
I'm putting him on the spot, by the way.
This is actually going to be something that I'm going to go over in a video of my own.
Sweet. Let's get a little bit of a preview on that video.
I'm going to talk about those things. But the short and skinny here is that the set is good for the game. What's not good is the cash flow that's going for it. So you see boxes of this set. It's supposed to be a standard set.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, standard set just means it's like the most recent set. It's part of the
rotation.
Their standard format, which is the newest sets. It's supposed to be for players to be able to get into and easily find boxes, and it's easily accessible and all of these things, right? And first off, we sold out the same weekend of release.
It was insane.
The pre-release weekend we sold out, which is, some people go, oh, well, that's amazing. That's a good thing to have. Actually, it's not always a good thing to have because now we have 6 weeks of events that we need to fire that we don't have as much product for as we'd like. And so, we did have to put things off to the side to not sell. So as a store, we hit that cap very quickly. And then there's not really any speculation on timing for reprints. Some people have said July, some people have said August. I've seen October.
Are they going to reprint it though?
I mean, they will. They have to. It's a standard set again. But this is one of those looking at it from, a wide view perspective, it's not exactly the best thing for the game. However, like, the set is successful. It's wildly successful. It's a great set. But at the same time, that makes things a little difficult for players that are trying to get into the game, realizing, hey, I can't get any cards. I have no card. I can't play. And now
if you want to go play booster boxes, good luck finding them online because they are scalped to...
Yeah, they're up to around the $200 range for a standard set, which is not. I mean, granted, I will say terrible. It is a Universes Beyond. Well, no, that is actually pretty bad because it's supposed to be. Boxes shouldn't really be ranging above 130, 140. I do know that the MSRP for the boxes are like usually 160, 170. The problem is with some of the stuff. Wizards dropped their MSRP and then kind of brought it back, and then they kind of let it go again, and they give some guidelines, but overall, like, boxes should have been like $150, $160.
It's not like Flesh and Blood where you're required to follow the MSRP.
Yeah,
or they will come after you.
There's a little bit to it. There's a lot to that, to digest, but like overall. What do I think about the set? It's great. It's great for new players. It's great for people who are wanting to get into the game. It's great for, essentially Final Fantasy fans. If you have no knowledge of Magic the Gathering and are trying to get in, and this is like your jumping point to get in because, hey, it's Magic the Gathering and it's Final Fantasy. This is great for you. But if you're a seasoned player or you're a collector or a little bit of both, it's not exactly the best thing because it makes things a little bit harder to do, harder to get into because of it being the way it is. Now, I will say this: they did ask stores well in advance. What are your order numbers, your speculated numbers? I think the tough thing there is that when you try to put an order in 6 months in advance, you're like, hey, I want to drop. Say, let's just hypothetically, you wanted to say, I'm going to use $50,000 to pay or $100,000 to pay, and I don't know, you have a water pipe break at your store.
Yep.
And now you have to pay for this. Now you can't spend that $100K. You just lost that product. And not only that, you put an order in, and now you're in trouble with your distribution company because now you're not going to fulfill your order because you don't have the money anymore. Or you're expecting, say we do it on the other side. You're like, hey, I want to get 50 boxes because, it's whatever. It's just another set. Yep. And actually it turns out to be one of the hottest sets ever. And now you're like, oh, well, I want to get 100 boxes now, not 50. And they're like, well, no, you already told us you wanted 50 and you're locked in at 50.
I do real quick, though. Just want to swing it back real fast because I saw the comment from Military Dad Channel, who is also, by the way, Scott Brown, general manager of Shop Solana. But hey, check it out. So Scott brought this up just a second ago, saying how we don't allow people to come in and just buy up all the product, go crazy.
Oh yeah.
We've been doing that for a while. So actually, I saw even further back than that. So it was actually when the latest Destined Rivals, which was a Team Rocket set, dropped.
Yeah. We were doing it even before that, but
no. What I'm saying is, like, there's this video that was out there for a little while.
Yeah.
There was this kid that was in line, and this local card shop owner.
Oh, I heard about this.
Was in front of him and just took everything off the shelf. And this kid is just like literally 2 feet away watching this guy do this.
Yeah.
And it's horrible to see it, man. That's the issue. When I see large retailers, like Walmart, like Target, they don't really put a cap on it.
Yeah.
The only time that they put a cap on stuff like that for some reason is for hardware. So like, new consoles. So like, for example, when the Switch 2 dropped, you were allowed to buy one Switch 2. You couldn't buy more. I would like to see them do the same thing for TCG. I know that they're not going to. And
I know some places do. I've seen
some places do, but like the reality is for most large retail stores,
they can't enforce it.
They don't think about TCG, and and it's also, like Craig said, it's also very, very hard to enforce it. So normally they just, hey, get it all out the door, like who cares? So if one guy wants to buy it all, then they're going to buy it all. And it's kind of hard to make that happen. Now, with us, whether you're buying in-store or online, we have enforcement for whatever we want to put it on. So we can limit you to only buying, 1 or 2 boxes. We do give a little bit more leeway on like pre-orders.
Yeah.
So if you're actually in the store and you're trying to get product,
I don't know. I've been locking down on that too.
Yeah, we have been
making
too.
It's where you can't even pre-order more than one simply because of that.
But, we have in the past, if the set's not going to be that hot, we have let people like pre-order more just because normally on pre-orders, we can kind of push the allocation to be a little bit higher, but it's also not guaranteed.
Yeah, sometimes. Well, here's the other thing too. So actually our local Target, that's like right across the street from where we're at, they do have an enforcement of pack limit. And I actually went over there to secure myself some one-piece packs the other day. And I was actually, they have it's a sign. Whether or not you follow the sign, this is where the enforcement comes into play. It says that you're supposed to pick the items up and take them into an aisle that is not self-checkout.
Yeah.
Right? You have to take it down one of their regular aisles because they're checking you. And I actually had 3 items, and the 3 items all looked the same, but 2 of them were the same, and then one of them was different.
Yeah.
Because I was following their policy of 2 per. And the person at the counter was trying to stop me from buying the 3rd item. And I'm like, I had to explain to them, I'm like, it's not the same item.
Yep.
So that's another thing too, is the people at the register, they don't know the difference either. They're not like experts in this, and they don't necessarily need to be. It's not something that you really expect a cashier or something to know every single item in the store and everything about that item. And that's a little bit too much, especially for how much they're paid.
Definitely.
Besides the point, I had that person, they were trying to tell me oh, you can't do this. So I had to take the item and set them next to each other and be like, this is what this item says. And this is what this item says. They're not the same item. Yeah. And it kind of made me feel like, in a hole. But at the same time, that person's just side-eyeing me and being like, whatever, dude, just take the thing, get out of my, because they're trying
it's
to. It's
hard, man. It's not easy. The thing when it comes to TCG is that there's so many different, there's, first of all, a lot of different games. I mean, off the top of my head, I can think we got Magic, Lorcana, Flesh and Blood, Pokemon. You got One Piece, got the new Gundam TCG coming out. You got Yu-Gi-Oh, and the list just goes on and on. There's even way more than that. I mean, there's tons of stuff, right? But then inside of those card games, when new sets come out, they have individual products for every one of those sets, and those things can look very, very similar. Yeah. So, we get asked all the time, people come in, hey, I'm trying to get into Magic the Gathering. What's the difference between a play booster box, a jumpstart booster box, a bundle, a pre-release? Right. And it's like, dude, if you don't know about these games, to you, it's just all the same stuff. So the question now turns into what's the enforcement policy supposed to be? Now for us, normally it's, hey, you get one of each item if you want to do that. I remember when we first did our initial Pokemon release, first time we ever got Pokemon in the store at all. And there were dudes lined up outside of our store, and literally door opened up, and they came running. I was like, "Oh, no, slow down."
That wasn't the very first set. That was Blooming Waters when that happened, which was our second set that we had.
No, I'm talking about Prismatic.
Oh well, yeah. With Prismatic, we had a lot of people that came in beforehand trying to order all of our product before we even had it in store. We're like, dude, cut me a break here.
Yeah. But that's the thing that we try to really cut back on, And the other thing too is it also helps cut back on scalpers. I cannot stand scalping. It drives me crazy. I've had that problem. I'll just go back and say it. I remember when the Xbox Series X dropped, I wanted to grab one of those consoles. And good luck trying to find one because they were not anywhere in stock because every time a drop would happen, they were buying them up like crazy. And they would resell them for double the value on eBay or Amazon or wherever. Yeah. And it was just insane. And you could not find one. It wasn't until our Target, right out here again, I found one that was sitting on shelves. And it's one of the big things that I think, I completely and totally understand, pre-ordering stuff, especially online. I think Nintendo did a great job, by the way, because Nintendo, when they did, it was awesome. They shut that stuff down.
The Switch 2 is pretty abundant.
The Switch 2 is abundant. It's also, it has not sold as well.
Are you sure? I've heard that it was the top selling console ever.
Switch
Are you
2?
sure? Yeah.
I'm positive. No, it's not.
Okay.
It's definitely not.
I don't know, like if it was one of those fake news things. I
No,
heard
it's
that.
Switch
I heard
2.
that it had like it broke records for all game consoles ever.
I'm gonna look this up right now
Because but I will say this, and this is going to go into another video that I'm working on as well about the scalping issue and stuff like that.
I take it back. You're right.
Yeah, see, there is a
it sold 3.5 million units in 4 days.
Yeah, it broke records of everything. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it was readily available. That's one of the biggest things. Is if it wasn't available, obviously they wouldn't have hit those sales numbers. But the thing is they were readily available, and regardless of what people say about it, the pricing issue, prices of everything have been going up. That's a whole nother topic. I'm not going to get too much into that one, but regardless of pricing, obviously people still liked it.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But to get back to that thing that you're just talking about with the scalping, this is also, like I said, going into another video that I'm going to be working on. But the idea of scalping is buying something with the intent of reselling it is the idea here, right? But if you are like for us, for example, everything we buy is for the intent to resell. So then by definition of what I just said, we are considered scalpers. Okay, so hang on. Because I get this a lot, by the way.
Yeah.
There's a difference in between selling something at MSRP and selling something at market value. And this is where the scalping comes into play. Yeah. 90% of the time, this is where it comes into play. A lot of people will say, well, hey, you should be selling it at MSRP because you got it cheaper. Why are you upselling it? Well, the idea here is that if the market online, for example, because the online market is where everything really thrives, right? On the online market, if people are buying something, let's say, for example, the Final Fantasy boxes. I was mentioning, they should be here, they should be here. There's no clear price for them, by the way. A pack is MSRP'd at $6.99. That's it. They don't have it for boxes. It's packs only.
Yeah.
If you do the math, it's 30 times $6.99. It comes out to like $220, right? $219, something like that. So the MSRP technically would be, based off of those ideas, would be $219, right?
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, boxes are technically, even online, under MSRP.
Yeah.
But people will still say that you're scalping them. And
but
I'm
this
like,
is the thing they'll say, though, like for me, scalping technically, though, also is when you go out and you buy from somebody else and jack the price like way high up. So my issue, like, and this is my thing, is that we also buy from distribution. We don't go to Target and buy a bunch of boxes.
Right, that's why I was saying it's buying it from a retailer with the intent to resell.
Yeah.
So that's what I was going to add on to the definition. That's where you started, was also buy to resell. But
Nick, curiosity, you said Steam Deck or Switch to drink more Mountain Dew. Dude, I love Mountain Dew. Unfortunately, Mountain Dew is not a part of Coca-Cola.
Yeah, it's not a Coke product. Pepsi product.
Go buy Mountain Dew. Anyway, Nick, you said Steam Deck or Switch 2 in regards to what? It was you just said two things without really clarifying what you.
If we have to pick one. If I had to pick one in between there with no extra context, I would probably say the Stream Deck because it's, or the Steam Deck, whatever. I'm looking at this. It says Stream Deck right here. I read that instead of saying
Steam.
That's why I said I read that instead of saying Steam Deck. I would probably say that only because of the mass amount of games. But to be honest with you, I've never played it. So
when is the next big card set drop? Correct.
Well, the big card set that just dropped was Final Fantasy, and that was last Friday. So you're just a tad bit.
Which handle is better?
Handle.
I
think he's talking maybe like the Joy-Con things, like where you're holding. That's what I'm thinking.
Nick, I need you to clarify even more.
Yeah, let us know what it is.
Like handle can mean a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah, it's like maybe they're talking about how they handled the system, like how they sold it, how they're selling it.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
This is my thing.
We'll answer that when you
I am not a Steam Deck fan. Now, it is not because I don't think that the Steam Deck is a good console. My issue is I really don't like controller for probably 90% of games.
That's fair.
I'm a mouse and keyboard player. I prefer mouse and keyboard. I used to play on controller a lot, but once I went to mouse and keyboard, dude, mouse and keyboard is just superior. Like, it is.
I think it comes down to the game. A lot of the times.
It does come down to the game, but like, this is my thing. I have so much more control over inputs and everything else with the mouse and keyboard.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So there are some games with limited inputs. There's only like 12 inputs, and then I'm like, I don't mind having a controller for this game. But, that's not the type of games that I usually play either.
So when it comes to like the Steam Deck, most of the games that I would play, I can't play on a Steam Deck anyway. So I just like, to me, the Steam Deck is just kind of a useless console. Now, once again, I get people love the Steam Deck. Totally fine. I'm not like hating on it. I'm saying that from my personal standpoint.
He's hating on it.
I don't like the Steam Deck because I just wouldn't use it. Now, the reason why I prefer the Switch 2 over the Steam Deck, or really any Nintendo console over pretty much any other console, right now, as of 2025, here on it's June 15th today.
Yeah.
No. That is.
Yeah.
No, it's the 16th.
No, well.
The 15th?
16th.
16th. Yeah. It's the 16th.
We're a little behind.
Yeah, we're a little behind.
It's okay.
As of today, June 16, 2025, console exclusivity for Xbox and PlayStation does not really exist.
It's not there.
So my argument has always been, when it comes to which, hey, man, you like Xbox or PlayStation or like whatever, my thing is, I am always going to buy, I'm always going to buy whatever hardware enables me to play the games that I want to play. So if I'm going out to buy a piece of hardware that lets me play all the games I want to play, right now, that's PC. Because I can go on Steam and pretty much play any PlayStation exclusive on my PC. The exact same thing with Xbox. Now, I do believe that Gears of War is going to be an Xbox console exclusive, but then again, I also saw it on PC, so I don't know what's going on anymore.
Most games
So my whole thing is, there is only one console, one like entire like company that still makes exclusives.
Yeah. That's Nintendo.
It's Nintendo. So if you want to get a console, go buy a Nintendo.
The reason
you can't play Mario on your PC, dude.
The reason why I would pick Nintendo over the Steam Deck is because, honestly, I have Steam on my computer. A Steam Deck to me is redundant.
It is, man. I just don't see the point to it.
There's a redundancy here. Now, I can understand. Let's just assume, this is why I said a minute ago, if I had to pick one over the other, I'm taking myself away from the picture. Like, it's not me. I'm a random AI. And I am here to determine what I'm going to pick. Yeah, I'm not an actual, in the scenario that I'm picking the Steam Deck, I'm saying that I'm a person who's in the middle of nowhere, maybe.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or maybe I am in the city.
Maybe you're traveling a lot.
Right. Maybe I'm a traveler. Maybe put two handheld consoles in front of me as a traveling person. And all of the things, right?
Yeah.
I don't have a computer. I don't have a laptop. I would pick the Steam Deck only because the amount of games available.
Yeah,
that's it. Outside of that, if I am the person, literally am the person making the decision, I'm picking the Switch.
But then this is my question though, right? So I'm gonna play a little bit of a devil's advocate against Steam Deck again, real fast, okay? Okay.
Devil's advocate.
How many games on Steam require mouse and keyboard?
Oh, I'm sure a lot of them.
Probably like the vast majority of games on Steam probably require a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah,
right.
It's actually
so
funny.
Now you're dropping what you are able to effectively play on the Steam Deck. Like you're
dropping
just slashing it down.
Well,
almost
I will
nothing.
say this: Steam does have a pretty robust system.
True.
They do have it set up to where you can, for example, I was playing a game the other day, and I had my PS5 controller, or PS4 controller. Sorry, PS4 controller. I don't have a PS5. I had it hooked up to my PC because I was playing one of the old school retro Final Fantasy games, right?
Nice.
So I had it hooked up to my PC, and I turned on a game that wasn't that Final Fantasy title.
Okay.
And Steam notified me, as I was starting up the game. It's like, this game doesn't support the controller.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, I mean, that's fine. I wasn't going to play with I forgot I had it hooked up still. So I could see, like, from that perspective, too. Like, if I'm trying to play a specific type of game or play specific games in general, I can't always play them with the Steam Deck.
And that's my big thing, right? So it's if I go out and I get a Switch 2 and I plug in any one of those games,
you're ready to go.
It's ready to go because it's built for the Switch 2.
It's built for that. Yeah.
The thing with the Steam Deck, and this is like the reason why I said for me, I'm just like, I don't know. And maybe if I were to try it, by the way, I might change my mind. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've not used this thing before. I've just seen them. The battery life is okay. You know, it's not like fantastic or anything. But you know, like there's like just like so many games I've seen out there that I would like be like, dude, I want to play this, and I just don't think that Steam Deck is really like, especially like if you're playing like an RTS.
Yeah,
try to play an RTS on a controller, dude.
I mean, I go back to Exhibit 1, which is if I'm going to play a Steam game, well, I'm just going to put it on my PC.
PC's the way to go, dude.
I just like my PC outperforms the Steam Deck by a lot, so there's no reason for me to be playing on a Steam Deck. And again, not trying to like bash.
If you have a Steam Deck and
great.
you like it, dude, go for it, man. Play it, enjoy it, have a great time playing.
I was gonna say, not even trying to bash on it.
You are allowed to enjoy things.
There are people out there that the Steam Deck works better for than you know.
I have heard people say too. By the way, like there was a guy that had the Asus Frog, like little handheld. And he was telling me earlier, he's like, dude, like this thing actually runs games better than my PC does. You know, so for some people,
got a bad PC.
Yeah, but for some people, it may be the better, you know, budget option.
It's a cheaper option.
That's which is totally fine too, by the way.
That's the thing. Like you got to think of it from the perspective of how much money are you dropping in on a PC versus how much money is it for the Steam Deck. And I get it. Like some people may be like, hey, it might cost you $2,000, $3,000.
Nick gets it.
Yeah, you could be spending $3,000 on a PC, you know, a monitor and keyboard, mouse, and the nice tower and stuff like that, and then you could buy a Steam Deck for what, like $600?
Hot take, 100%. But I'm just gonna say it to you flat out, man. Like if you're a real gamer, and that's the thing, like to be a real gamer, it has two requirements. PC. You have to play on PC, and you have to only use mouse and keyboard. So you can touch a controller, not a gamer. You've been disqualified. You're not a gamer. Sorry. You are a hobbyist because you have not learned how to actually play games correctly. It's all it is.
Well, and that also does depend on the game too. If you're playing Rocket League professionally,
you better play on mouse and keyboard.
Well, yeah, they do have it set up to where you play better on mouse and keyboard now. I know.
Do they?
I know so many people that play on the controller though. Well, they added new control things that make it a little bit easier.
I'm pretty sure Rocket League is way easier on controller.
It's still on controller. That's what I'm saying. If you're a professional Rocket League player and you're playing on a controller,
Scott's down here. The PC controller. No. I get it. You need to have your aim assist.
That makes no sense.
You need to have your aim assist.
If you're going to play on the PC, I've always said this. If you're going to play on the PC, why are you using a controller? That makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It makes no sense. If you're gonna play on the PC and you're gonna use a controller and you're not playing Rocket League, then just go play on a console.
No, it's so I understand the reason behind using a controller and I get it, right? A lot of guys that they come over and they bring their controllers over to like PC. What it is you know, PC obviously offers, depending on your PC, obviously offers better performance on games than you get on a console. Okay.
Yeah.
I have 100%. I get that. The thing with a controller, and this is the thing when you make that switch over. So like the reason why you look at a lot of these like leagues and whatnot that have, you know, like Rainbow Six Siege, Call of Duty,
out to aim assist.
Right? But that's what it is it puts everybody on the same playing field. Now, this is a reason why I will always say this when it comes to first-person shooters, Counter-Strike reigns supreme because there ain't no controllers.
Yep.
It's raw ability. Do you understand positioning? Do you understand like all the different fundamentals of that game?
Mechanics.
That's what it comes down to, right? Call of Duty to me has lost the magic. It has for a pretty decent amount of time at this point. Not hating on Call of Duty. I just don't really play the game anymore. I don't really find it like enjoyable. Yeah. You know, I've been asked now like several times, are you guys excited for Black Ops 7? I'm like, dude, we're going to run tournaments for Black Ops 7. I'm not going to play Black Ops 7. Like, I barely played. If you guys watch if you watch the Borderlands League at all right now, I literally bought Black Ops 6 for the league. I am rank 14, like level 14.
That means he played it.
I probably played less than 20 matches and got to 14 and stopped playing because I got bored.
I don't even have Black Ops 6. I did
Call
buy
of Duty
the
just
new
bores me
modern.
now. Like it's not what it used to be.
I did buy the new Modern Warfare, which is like, I don't even know, Modern Warfare 3 remake ×2 version 4.6. I don't even know. Like they redid all of the old Call of Duties to try to like nostalgia people to death.
Yeah.
And that
They did the reboot, yeah.
I did play like the newest Modern Warfare. I honestly don't remember what Modern Warfare. I have no idea, but I did play it. I played it with a couple buddies of mine because they're like, "Oh yeah, this is like the new hot thing," and I'm like, "Dude, it's after like." I did play it for like a month or two. I was like, "This is just Call of Duty again." Like it's nothing.
I do need to try out Splitgate too, though. I've heard a lot of really great things about that game so far. I'm really gonna go check it out. I want to see if it's good.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel for me personally, I've even fallen off a lot of gaming stuff in general.
That's
like,
fair.
Not having a lot of time to do it. That's tough.
My biggest thing. And now my
tough.
PC sitting right over here.
Yeah, that's
so
a
I don't
tough
get the
thing.
game anymore.
But even on top of that, like even when I am like, I can't do the same old games that we've been doing. Like I can't really do Halo anymore.
Halo's always had aim assist. Halo's always had aim assist. Yeah. Since Halo Combat Evolved, it's actually
it's the very first one.
Bungie, the reason. So actually, quick history lesson for everybody. So first-person shooters were never really good on console. It was always an issue, right? So that's why you look at games like Doom, like Quake. They were always on PC because it was just much easier to control, right? So what's up, Chaotic? Bungie was the first one to dial it in. So when they released Halo Combat Evolved, they added that aim assist. And that's what made it playable on console. So Halo, man, they, cutscenes, which was like revolutionary. You look at the story, the multiplayer, all that cool stuff. Like Halo defined the first-person shooter genre. It's always had it. It's always had it. Halo Combat Evolved was the start. Every other game that was a first-person shooter after that point that was released on console, that's where aim assist came from because they had to make it playable. This is the biggest thing. If you do not have aim assist on controller, you cannot play a first-person shooter on controller. And I'll tell you why. You can actually go play Counter-Strike Go on Xbox 360 on like use your controller. Go try to play it on controller.
Oh man, that'd be awful.
There's no aim assist. You cannot hit anybody.
Yeah,
the game died within a couple of months on Xbox because it was unplayable because nobody could aim.
Yeah, it's actually really funny
aim
because
assist is a requirement for a controller. When I hear people say like, "Oh, dude, I turn aim assist off," no, you don't. It's
still on there. It's still there.
Aim assist is on. You cannot play.
It's to what degree is it on?
Yeah.
The thing is like I remember when Halo first came out. I think I was in high school.
2001.
I was in high school. And the thing is like that was when there was a big push for which first-person shooter was the best. And that was actually one of the things that people would knock on people about is, oh, well, there's aim assist on this when you're not playing a real first-person shooter because you need aim assist.
Halo it's
always had it.
The GOAT of... So for me, Halo 1, 2, and 3 was like the peak.
Yeah.
That was the peak of console first-person shooters. Outside of that era, man, like when you look at the quality of games that were coming out during that time, you got Halo, you got Gears of War dropping, you've got, Call of Duty 4, Black Ops 2, Killzone, like over on like the Sony side, like the games that were coming out during that generation, like was insane from like the original Xbox through the Xbox 360 and like the PS2 and the PS3.
I think a lot of people were trying to innovate during that time.
Yeah, it was massive innovations. And that's my problem now is that people just keep trying to reinvent the wheel instead of just making a new medium.
Well, I mean, we talked about this before with the remastered, rehashing the same stuff. And I think that's one of the big reasons why I've fallen away from gaming as much, simply because of things like that. It's been. If I want to play the game, I'll just play the original.
And that's my thing that I think is really interesting, and it's why I tell people all the time. I'm like the reason. And I'm not saying, like, I'm not trying to hate on Call of Duty. Like, I'm not trying to hate on games.
I am.
Like, that's fair.
Just kidding.
Rainbow Six Siege, I might have to look at it, but this is a difference with Rainbow Six Siege. In a way, there kind of is, because when you're looking at Rainbow Six Siege, they slow the game down so hardcore.
Let's take a look.
You're putting angles up, so you're not actively aiming. You're actually just like posting up on angles in Rainbow Six Siege.
I'm pretty sure that it does, because when you pop around a corner, you have to.
I don't know, but the game is also a lot slower.
Let's take a look. I'm just gonna Google real fast.
Aim assist is specifically for console players right here.
Yep, I was going to say it does have it in
Rainbow Six Siege has aim assist.
Aim assist is typically found in many consoles based on this random generated AI from Google. Thank you, random generated AI.
But that's, and once again, just the reason why I say it. I love Counter-Strike for that reason, because there's no assist features. It's your raw ability, and that's why they put everybody on mouse and keyboard. There is no... Now... I get it. It's why when we do our online Borderland League, I make sure everyone's on controller.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with, the whole, hey, it's not fair that they get to use controllers. I'm like a mouse and keyboard. Right. Because, they do, like, it is night and day, man. Like, when you get, especially up into, like, close quarters fights, like, controller will decimate a mouse and keyboard player. It is what it is. But the thing that I want to see more of is more games like Counter-Strike. And the reason why I was talking about this earlier too was, Counter-Strike has basically remained.
Every first-person shooter.
Every first-person shooter, if you're playing on controller, you have to have aim assist. If you're playing
any console game at all, if you're playing a first-person shooter and it's on console, and I'll just say it like that, if it's on console, that means there is some form of aim assist already built into the game. Now, so for example, if you're playing Call of Duty online and you're playing it on the PC, you still have aim assist in the game, because aim assist is from the console.
Yep.
And so then they differentiate how much aim assist you have based on what you're playing at that point.
Yeah. So, and this is the thing that you have to understand, and it makes sense, because on a controller, you're aiming with your thumb. When I'm on a mouse and keyboard, I have my entire arm. I am moving this entire appendage, this limb.
If you've ever seen something where you're shooting at somebody and they get eliminated or whatever, and you're like, hey, I was barely shooting that guy or whatever, or you're like aiming high and you headshot them. And you're like, wow, that's crazy. That's aim assist, because it's randomly generated. But it's an RNG factor.
That's the reason why, like, I drive people crazy. Like, when I play like FPS games on console, or like when I use a controller, I actually almost never touch my right stick, because when you're playing, you do what's called left stick aiming. So it's actually a thing that a lot of pros do. Whenever your character is moving, like the actual physical avatar that you like embody. So
yes, Nick, that's correct.
It tracks, right? So as long as I'm moving, the reticle will track on that player.
Yeah.
So you left stick aim. So all I'm doing is I'm hitting up, and I don't know. Trumper DM, I don't know.
Pretty sure they do.
But left stick aiming, like once I hit my first shot on you, I let go of the right stick, because aim assist takes over.
This is the thing, and this will be the last part, because we're actually going to have to jump off here. I'll tell you this. If you go back to, I believe it was Black Ops 5. It might have been Modern Warfare. I don't remember. Idea. There's one or the other. There's actually, there's people that were talking about, hey, what you need to do is you need to go into your settings and you can change your aim assist help. And what it would do is it would create a better aim assist for you. And that's what they were doing.
Yeah, well, that's actually carried forward too, because now when you go into the settings now, like you have different styles, like dynamic, like all these different styles, and what you're doing is you're dialing in aim assist. So that's why like the pro's gonna say, hey, by the way, change to all these settings, because it just dials it in even more so. Yeah. So once again, like I'm not like, this is my thing. I'm not one of those guys out there that says like aim assist should not exist.
Yeah.
You are at a disadvantage when you look at overall range of motion from a thumb to an arm. Like I completely get that, right? The issue for me is that when it gets into competitive play, like I think that competitive play, there should be no assist. I think that you should be playing on mouse and keyboard, because that is the rawest like style of play. There's like, and in fact, I forgot. It was Marathon. They put aim assist on mouse and keyboard, and I hated it because I would try to be aiming and doing like certain things, and I could feel it kind of fighting me a little bit. You know, like, hey, no, you want to be right here. I'm like, I don't want to aim right there. I'm trying to hit the guy behind or like whatever. I cannot stand when they add aim assist to mouse and keyboard. I can't stand it. It drives me crazy on mouse and keyboard. But anyway, that's all. 150% change much. Just went to settings. Yeah. So I will say, yes, we do allow mouse and keyboard at our for Call of Duty at our LAN events.
I don't know if anybody uses it.
We have had a couple people do it.
I was gonna say, well, the question was during that, was anybody using it
during the online league or during LAN?
During the online league.
Online league, no, it's all controller. It's all controller.
I think everybody. I think everybody has to.
Yeah, you actually cannot use mouse and keyboard per CDL rules. As we go forward, that will stay in place, especially as we go into longer seasons. I do want to add this out there real fast too. For anybody that has not gone out and seen the live action remake of How to Train Your Dragon, go check it out. I've been shouting this from the hilltops because DreamWorks killed it. It is literally a shot for shot of the OG. They changed almost nothing. I mean, it's like 95% pure. It's crazy.
Yeah, to drop that little nugget in there.
Got that little nugget in there. Go support DreamWorks, man. Let Disney know with your money that they suck and they need to stop doing this garbage. DreamWorks knocked it out of the park. Go check it out. But everybody, that's going to do it for us. We have to go get the store opened up in the front.
Yep.
So yeah, guys, we will see you guys in the next one. Craig, go ahead and close us out, man, while I get this thing shut down.
Heck yeah. Well, anyway, while Dan's going over to shut us off, thanks for everybody for coming out today to the Game Changers podcast. Make sure to stop by and check us out. You can go to DamascusGaming.com to see upcoming events and everything that we have going on. Join us on our Facebook, Instagram, or our other social media platforms. You can follow us on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, and we will see you all next time. Thank y'all.
Oh, we got a sub. Drop the sub.
Oh, Carpe Diem, thank you for the sub. Amazing. The last thing I